Children, good morning. Preeti Thakkar back to you with SS Standard 7th, Semester 2, Chapter 1, Medieval Gujarat. A man roamed about a village street playing a song on his Ravanatha board violin. A group of small children was also roaming along with him. He continued to sing the same song repeatedly, the words of which were Chela ji re, Patan thi patola monga lavjo. Among the children who sang along with the singer was Pratik. When he returned home, he asked his grandfather about the Patola of Patan. Pratik's grandfather had a wealth of historical anecdotes. While telling Pratik about Patola, he informed him about the historical city Anhilwad. Here, children, Pratik very much interested about the song Chela Ji Re Patanti Patola Monga Lavjo and asking questions to his grandfather regarding the song, what it means. Okay, now in the medieval age, 746 CE to 1304 CE, approximately for about 560 years ago, the Chauda, the Solanki, and the Waghela dynasty ruled over Gujarat. During their reign, the capital of their kingdom was Anhilpur Patan, which later came to be known as Anhilwad Patan. Currently, Anavada village that is situated to the west of Patan was originally known as Anhilwad. Now here children, it is said that in India the period between 8th to 13th century is known as early medieval age first of all. Then Rajput ruled during this period in Gujarat, and so this period was also known as Rajput age. Now, during the Middle Age, there were three dynasties ruled in Gujarat between 746 CE to 1304 CE, that is, for about 460 years. These three dynasties were Chauda dynasty, Solanki dynasty, that is known as Chalukya, and Waghela dynasty. The rulers of all three dynasties were Rajputs. Patan, also was known as Anilwad Patan, was the capital of kingdoms of all these dynasties. According to the historical text, the Chauda dynasty ruled over Panchashar. Its ruler, Jaisikhari, attained martyrdom in a war. His son Vanraj Chauda recaptured his father's kingdom. In place of ruined kingdom, he established a new kingdom on the bank of river Saraswati, which was known as Anhilwad Patan. It was believed that his friend Anhil assisted him in the acquiring of the kingdom, and hence the territory was named Anhilwad Patan after him. The Chauda dynasty ruled over Gujarat for approximately 196 years. Thereafter, the Solanki dynasty ruled over Gujarat. Here, children, it is said that Anhilwad of Anilpur Patan was the capital of three Rajput dynasty, which I said you, and it was believed that it is known as Anhilwad in the honor of King Vanraj Chauda's friend Anhil, who helped him to regain his father's lost kingdom. And it was ruled by the Chaudas over Panchashar reign. Anilpur Patan was the capital of its kingdom. Okay, so here it is said that the king of Chauda dynasty, Jaisikhari, died in the battle and became the martyrdom. Later on, his son Vanraj Chauda regained the ruined kingdom of Chauda dynasty and set up its capital in Anhilwada, Patan, where on the bank of river Saraswati. And it was believed that Vanraj's friend Anhil helped him to regain the kingdom. And so this kingdom was known as Anhilwad Patan. And the Chauda ruled for 196 years in Gujarat. Now, moving forward, during the rule of Solanki dynasty, Gujarat became very prosperous. The Rajput era saw Anhilwad Patan emerge as one of the most powerful kingdoms. The king of these dynasties, Mulraj Solanki, Bhimdev Solanki, Siddharth Jai Singh, Kumar Pal were among the great rulers. The famous scholar Kilka Sarvagna Sri Hemachandracharya was patronized during the rule of Siddharth Jai Singh. During his reign, Anhilwad Patan became the main center of education and was known as Vidyadham. On his proposal, Sri Hemachandracharya wrote a book on grammar. Siddhem Sabdanushasan. After his completion, the book was placed on the seat tied on an elephant and procession was carried throughout the city. Both the king Siddharth Jai Singh and the composer Sri Hemachandra Acharya accompanied the procession on foot. It was the first time that a literary text was given such an enormous respect. The prosperity of Gujarat reached in apex during the reign of Kumar Pal. At this time, the amalgamation of non-violence, that is ahimsa, prosperity, that is Lakshmi, and education, that is Saraswati, was noticed in Anhilwad. The king of Solanki dynasty were great rulers. However, six of these rulers renounced their throne to become hermits. More information on this can be obtained from the library. So, here, children, it is said that after Chowda dynasty, the Solanki dynasty came into power in Gujarat. Solanki kings were Rajputs, so they were known for their bravery. Among them, Mulraj Solanki, Bhimdev, Siddharth Jai Singh, Kumar Pal, etc., were quite brave and famous. Under Jai Singh, Anhilwad Patan became the main center of education. It was also came to be known as Vidyadham. During the rule of Siddharth Jai Singh, there lived a very famous Jain scholar called Hemachandracharya. Jai Singh proposed Hemachandracharya to prepare a book on grammar called Siddhem Sabdanushasan. This was the great work of Hemachandracharya. When this book was complete, it was respectfully placed on the elephant's back and a procession was taken out in the whole kingdom to honor the book. Both the king and Hemachandracharya walked along with the procession. It was the first event in which this literacy book was given such a lot of respect. Then Siddharth Jai Singh also constructed Shatranga Lake in Patan. And there were all importance on their own. Now, during this rule of Kumar Pal, Gujarat's prosperity was at its peak. During the rule, Anhilwad Patan was flooded with non-violence, that is Ahimsa, Lakshmi and Saraswati. All the six rulers of Solanki dynasty later became the hermits. Hermits means saint. And here it is, you can get more information on the library also. Now, Anhilwad Patan had not only dynamic kings and academicians, but the queens were also equally dynamic. In fact, Queen Udaymati built a steep well for the welfare of her subjects. This steep well is known as Rani Ki Vav. This steep well consisting of 7 levels as an unparalleled example of art and the beautifully carved stone idols tell us of the glory and prosperity of Solanki era. Queen Meenal Devi, King Siddharth Jai Singh's mother, was much concerned about the welfare of the subjects and waived the pilgrim tax. The Malav Lake at Dholka and Mansur Lake at Viramgam were constructed on her instructions. The Sahasraling Lake of Patan was constructed during the reign of King Siddharth Jai Singh. Now here children, it is said that while Solanki dynasty, not only the king but the queens of Solanki dynasty were brave and great. Here it is said about Queen Udaymati that she constructed the steep well for providing water to the people. It was known as Rani Ki Vav, that is Queen's Steep Well, Queen's Steep Well. The steep well is 7 storied and it is an unparalleled example for art and architecture. These artistic idols engraved in the well display the glory of Solanki dynasty. And it is even said about Queen Meenal Devi. She was always in favor of public welfare. She was the mother of Siddharth Jai Singh and she waived off pilgrim tax. She also constructed the lake called Malav Lake in Dholka and Mansoor Lake in Viramgam. And the Shastraling Lake of Patan was constructed during the king of Siddharth Jai Singh. Now, the history of Anhilwad Patan is associated with the name of a brave, heroic lady. After the death of King Ajaypal, his son being too young, Queen Naikya Devi, his mother, took over the responsibility of the kingdom. During this time, Sahabuddin Ghori crossed the desert and attacked Gujarat. Queen Naikya Devi led the army of Gujarat into battle and successfully defeated Sahabuddin Ghori. So here children, it is a very interesting part. You can see that it is said how Naikya Devi was ruling. Queen Naikya Devi was the wife of King Ajaypal. And after Ajaypal's death, his son was too young to sit on the throne. So Naikya Devi took the rule in her hands. When Shahabuddin Ghori crossed the desert and attacked Gujarat, Naikya Devi tied her son on her back and fought Ghori with her army. And she bravely defeated him and drove Ghori away. Now, after the Solanki dynasty, the Waghela dynasty ruled over Gujarat. The last emperor of Waghela dynasty, Karandev Waghela, was defeated by Alauddin Khilji and it brought to an end of Rajput rule over Anhilwada Patan. Later on, for a period of time, Anhilwad Patan remained the capital of Gujarat just for a namesake. During the Sultanate era Ahmad Shah established Ahmedabad in 1411 CE. Thereafter, Patan ceased being the capital of Gujarat and became the headquarters of Subhagiri district. The sultans ruled over Gujarat through the 15th century until the end of 16th century. So children, here it is said that after the Solanki dynasty, Waghela dynasty ruled over Gujarat. Alauddin Khilji, an invader, defeated Karandev Waghela, the last ruler of Waghela dynasty, and ended Rajput age in Patan. After Waghela for a long period, Anhilwada Patan remained as the capital of Gujarat for just namesake. Then 1411 CE, Ahmad Shah of Sultanate era established a new city called Ahmedabad and made it the capital of Gujarat. Then capital of Gujarat, Patan, the old capital, and was now made the headquarter of Subhagiri district. Subhagiri district, that was sultans. Then they ruled over Gujarat during 15th and 16th century. During this era, notable sultans like Ahmad Shah, Muhammad Baghera and Muzaffar Shah ruled over Gujarat. At the beginning of 17th century, the Mughal dynasty established itself over Gujarat, and thereafter many other kingdoms came into existence in Gujarat. Dear children, it is said that in 1941 CE, Ahmad Shah, the Sultanate era, established the new city called Ahmedabad and made the capital of Gujarat. Then sultans then ruled over Gujarat during 15th and 16th century, as said before. Then during this period, sultans like Ahmad Shah, Muhammad Baghera and Musarraf Shah ruled over Gujarat. Administration. Now we are going to learn about the administration of Solanki era. During the Solanki era, the king was most powerful of all. The various departments of the kingdom were handled by different ministers. The most important ministers was known as Mahatmya, who looked forward after finance department, that is Sri Karan. The most important department of administration was known as Mandal. The capital of this kingdom was located on the bank of river Saraswati, and hence it was known as Saraswati Mandal. The subsections of Mandal were known as Pathak. There were several such Pathaks which included many villages within their folds. Mandals such as Kutch Mandal, Saurashtra Mandal, Ketak Mandal, Lath Mandal, Midpat Mandal were present during these times. So here children, it is said that in Solanki dynasty, the king held the supreme power. The entire administration was divided into several parts. These departments were to look after various ministers, and the main minister was known as Mahatmya, who was looking after the finance department and was known as Sri Karan. And there were several type of mandals which was known in a different way. That was the capital of the kingdom was located on the river Saraswati. So it was known as Saraswati Mandal. And the subsection of Mandal was known as Pathak. Then the several such Pathaks were included in many villages, and they were all known as such as Kutch Mandal, Saurashtra Mandal, Ketak Mandal, etc. as given there. Architecture and culture. Many people followed Shaivism in Gujarat during the Solanki era. At this time, Somnath was the prime center of Shivaism, while Dwarka was the famous pilgrim center for the Vaishnavas. The influence of Buddhism reduced during the medieval age, while Jainism gathered momentum. As the result, many magnificent Jain temples were built. This period also saw the progress of architecture, sculpture, and painting. The architecture of this time exhibited the Rajasthani style of temple carving. The Sun Temple of Modhera, the Vimal Saji Temple of Abu were constructed in the 11th century, while Rudramahala Temple, the reconstructed Somnath Temple, were built in 12th century. The 13th century saw the construction of Mount Abu, which attained a prominent place in architecture splendor of India. So here children, it is said that Somnath Temple, which was the temple of Lord Shiva, the main temple of worship during Solanki period. Hence, majority people followed Shivaism. Similarly, Dwarka temple, which is the temple of Lord Krishna, was the main temple of worship of Vaishnav community. Impact of Buddhism reduced and Jainism increased during the medieval age. Gujarat witnessed many great Jain temples were constructed during that period. Then there was a tremendous progress in architecture, sculpture, and painting. Rajasthani touch could be seen in the architecture of that age. The Sun Temple of Modhera, built in 11th century, Vimala Vashahi Temple of Abu, constructed in 11th century, Rudra Mahala in 12th century, renovated Somnath temple of 12th century, Jain temple of Dilwara, Abu constructed in 13th century, etc. are all among the architecture that have attained important place in architecture of India. Now, along with the temple architecture of Gujarat, other architectural works such as lakes, forts, gateways, arches of temples, torans were also included. Among all the Kirti torans, the Kirti Toran of Vadnagar is very famous. Manuscripts were usually written on palm leaves, that is tadpatras. Margins were drawn along the four sides of these 2 to 3 feet long and 2 to 3-inch wide leaves, and within that limited space, writings or drawings were executed. Besides this, a lot of literary work on Jainism was accomplished during the Solanki era, like the Dvayashray Granth. Okay, so here, children, it is said that over and above the temples of Gujarat, other architect work like pond, lakes, forts, entrance torans were also quite famous. And Kirti Toran of Vadnagar is quite famous. A lot of Jain literary works were done during the Solanki period. During that period, manuscript of literary works were mainly written on tadpatras. Tadpatras were 2 to 3 feet palm leaves and 2 to 3 inches broad. The margins were drawn on all four sides and then written, the drawing on them was done. So, and then that was said that it was known as Dvayashray Granth, which was done in that literary work. Now, Ahmedabad became the center of administration during the Sultanate regime. Many books were written in Persian. Also, many works in Gujarat have been written during this period. Many famous mosques were built during Sultanate as well as Mughal era. The famed Siddhi Sayyad Grill of Ahmedabad and Sarkhej Roja Mosque were constructed during that time. Sicilian. Here also it is said about the architecture and the administration of Sultan regime. Even that time there were many books written in Persian and many works were done, like building the mosque, that was during Sultanate as well as Mughal area. And the famous Siddhi Sayyad Grill of Ahmedabad and the Sarkhej Roja Mosque were also constructed during that time. Thus, during the medieval age of almost 460 years, Gujarat was ruled over by the Rajput dynasty and later by Sultanate era and Mughal era. This is evident from the architectural splendor and literacy work of that period. So here, this was an unmemorable days of those literacy works and the architectural splendor during the medieval age, nearly which was almost 560 years of Gujarat, which was ruled by Rajput dynasty. Here we end with the first chapter. Bye. See you.